The cries of babies echoed through the walls of the mansion, but no one ever saw a child inside. In the city of Okiti, there lived a powerful man nicknamed the Dollar Man. He was a man of wealth and power, the kind of man people in the city whispered about with envy and admiration. His sprawling mansion sat on a hill overlooking the town, its golden gates shimmering under the sun. Every weekend, flashy cars lined in his driveway as the rich and influential came to visit him. People said he had businesses across the country and earned money in dollars, but no one could point to a single shop or office with his name on it. To most people, the Dollar Man was simply a blessed man, but for those who lived closest to him, there was something unsettling about him. The elders told tales of how no one could recall him ever being poor. He had appeared in Okiti 10 years ago, already rich, already respected. And while the rest of the city celebrated his success, the cries of babies that sometimes floated out of his mansion left some uneasy. In the city, there had always been cases of missing children, but so far, none of these mysteries had been solved. Mameka was a seamstress who lived on the edge of Okiti with her husband and their baby, Timmy. Timmy was the answer to years of fasting and prayers. After losing 3 pregnancies, Mameka had held on to her faith, and when Timmy finally came, he was the joy of her life. She never let him out of her sight until that day. It happened in a blink of an eye. She had left Timmy playing on a mat outside while she fetched water from the well. When she returned, he was gone. At first, she thought he had crawled away, but after searching every corner of their compound, panic set in. Neighbors gathered as she screamed his name, running down the dirt road, knocking on doors, checking bushes. By nightfall, it was clear Timmy was nowhere to be found. Mameka's cries pierced the quiet night. She refused to eat, refused to sleep, and her husband had to hold her as she collapsed as a result of stress. The community, as always, rallied around her. They formed search parties, went to the police, and even consulted local diviners. But days turned into weeks, and there was no sight of Timmy. People began to tell Mameka to give up, saying it was only a miracle that she could solve the case of those missing babies, including Timmy. With nowhere else to turn, Mameka turned to prayer. She locked herself in her room, kneeling before a small altar, her voice hoarse from crying out to God. "Please, God, show me where my baby is, even if he is dead," she pleaded. "Expose whoever has taken him." Her neighbors, being pitiful, joined her. Every evening, they gathered in her small compound, singing, clapping, and praying. Their voices rose in the night, a chorus of desperation and faith. "God sees everything," one of the elders said. "If someone had done evil, they cannot hide forever." It was around this time that strange things began happening in the Dollar Man's mansion. His staff started quitting one by one, muttering about seeing shadows and hearing whispers in the night. Dollar Man, once always composed and confident, began to look haggard. He avoided people, his eyes darting around as if he was being watched. At first, he told no one, But one of his closest aides overheard him talking to himself late at night. "They are here. I told them it was enough, but they won't stop crying," he whispered. Word spread quickly. People began to wonder if there was more to Dollar Man's wealth than what met the eye. One night, the entire city of Oketi was jolted awake by the sounds of his screams. He ran out of his mansion, barefooted and in his night clothes, shouting at something no one else could see. "Leave me alone! I gave you what you wanted. What else do you want from me?" he screamed, clawing at the air. The police arrived and restrained him, but the Dollar Man's madness only grew worse. The authorities decided to search his mansion, hoping to find answers, and what they found shocked the entire city. Behind the locked door in the basement was a hidden room filled with ritual objects, blood-stained clothes, small effigies, and bottles labeled with names. On the floor was a notebook. It listed dates and names, and at the very bottom was the name Timi Eka written in red. When the police confronted the Dollar Man with the evidence, he laughed hysterically. "They made me do it. The babies gave me wealth, but now, they haunt me," he shouted. His confession sent shockwaves through Oketi. He admitted to abducting children and using them in rituals to maintain his wealth. The Dollar Man was later arrested, but his mind was gone. He spent his days muttering to himself, crying and laughing uncontrollably. Eventually, he was released into the care of his family, who could not control him. He roamed the streets of Oketi, barefoot and unkempt, begging for food and shouting at invisible figures. Mama Eka, though heartbroken over the loss of Tibi, found solace in the fact that her prayers had exposed Dollar Man's evil deeds. The city rallied around her, honoring her strength and faith. A few months later, Mama Eka discovered that she was already pregnant again. Oketi changed after that. The people became more vigilant, ensuring no child ever went missing again. And though Timi was never found, his name became a symbol of justice, a reminder that no evil could hide forever. Mama Eka continued her prayers, not for revenge this time around, but a prayer of thanksgiving and for peace. She believed that Timi's spirit had brought light into the darkness and saved other children from a terrible fate, and she thanked God for blessing her with another child. In her heart, she knew that one day she would get to see her son again, if not in this life, then in the next. Thank you for watching this amazing story. If you know you did enjoy the video, please do well to leave a comment on the lesson learned. Do not forget to like the video. Also hit the subscribe button to get more interesting videos and stories like this. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time I come your way. Bye.